Around a month ago, my girlfriend finally got her driving license. So ever since, we've been renting different cars to see what she likes and what to buy in the future. So I spent last week driving back and forth my $7,000 Porsche 911 and this $70,000 Mercedes E-Class. In today's video, I will talk about differences and what I actually preferred in my good old Porsche and what's undeniably better in this Mercedes. I will also give you a little update on what I've done to my Porsche because I was working on it quite extensively. Okay, so starting with my 911 and its exterior, I think it's a beautiful car. I know that maybe not everybody is a big fan of this generation of 911s, but I really believe that older cars are in general so much better looking than the new ones, and this is a prime example of that. I know that maybe some shapes of newer 911s are more pleasing, but they are so big, and I think there is something so beautiful about how tiny and compact this one is. This brings us to the first issue that I had with this car and I actually fixed. As many of you know, owning a sports car is fun as long as you don't have to carry anything bigger. So that's why I got myself this roof rack and I made an entire other video about it. I think it changed usability of this car so dramatically. For example, yesterday I was on a film set and I had to transport a big 4x4 piece of lighting gear basically. It wasn't fitting even in SUVs that we had on set. So I just strapped it to my roof and transported it that way. So yeah, it really changed the game. Now let's talk about the Mercedes exterior. I'm recently reading Hunter Thompson and it reminds me so much of how he was calling a white Cadillac Coupe de Ville a white whale. This is exactly how I see this car. It's nice, it's big, very big, but it's not really exciting. Whales are not really exciting. And whenever I see one of those in public, I think to myself that the owner is probably a douchebag. So now I'm driving it, I feel like everybody is thinking the same thing about me. That might be my personal problem, but I don't know. I don't like the vibe of this car. It's big, it's not really exciting, there's nothing interesting about it. I think that's fine for a lot of people, but definitely not for me. I need something more from the car. And the funny story about this one is that to rent a car in California, you actually need a credit card. And I never needed a credit card because I hate credits. So in order to get it, there is one exemption. If you're an international and you have a return flight ticket, you can actually rent a car with a debit card. So I had to buy a $40 ticket to Vegas. That way, they trusted me with this $70,000 car. I think it's incredibly stupid. Now let's talk briefly about the interior of the car. I think that actually this generation 911 has the worst interior, and this is something that actually bothers me. But I'm doing what I can to make it better. I already changed my steering wheel for the Momo one, and it's changed the driving feel so dramatically. The previous one was all ripped off everywhere. I still don't have a horn, so that's something I still need to do. I thought that this is a problem of a steering wheel, but turns out it's in something else. We'll see. I already ordered a shifter knob as well as a short shift kit, so that's coming. But the biggest change in the interior is definitely the fact that I got myself a CarPlay unit. This is just a cheap AliExpress CarPlay unit. It was 150 bucks or something like that. It really changed my life. The speakers aren't incredible, and I gotta admit, as long as I'm listening to music, it's fine. But when I listen to a podcast on a highway, I still tend to get my AirPods. It could be better, not gonna lie. Soundproofing of this interior is not the best. And as long as I'm hearing my engine, it's fine. But on a highway, I mostly hear just noise. I installed a cup holder, which is actually in a very convenient location, and I really like it. So I highly recommend those things and the shift knob, which is coming soon. Those simple improvements really changed how useful this car is. I also got myself a little wireless charging pad connected here. It's also made living with this car very comfortable. I'm just placing my phone here on a MagSafe pad and it's charging well. I I'm driving. It's a really nice place to be, but obviously it's not luxurious. And now let's see how it compares to the Mercedes. Okay, maybe I'm not the biggest fan of the exterior of this car, but I gotta admit, the interior is pretty spectacular. There is wood everywhere in here. The screens are so nice. I actually would prefer having more of like knobs and everything. Seats are super comfortable. So many different adjusting positions. They are heated but also ventilated. The soundproofing is also incredible in this car. You can't hear anything compared to my Porsche. I gotta admit, it's really nice being in here. It's a great place to be for longer journeys. But yeah, usability with only the screens and all of those touch buttons, I'm not the biggest fan of. And I know that a lot of people is saying that. I agree. I feel like real buttons and real knobs and everything actually makes the car feel even more luxurious, and I wish it was like that here. But yeah, the wood and the leather, everything is so nice to touch. It's a great place to be. And there are actually usable back seats. Honestly, there isn't like ton of space. I was honestly surprised. And this position of the driver's seat is like my position, and I love having a lot of space as a driver. So maybe other drivers would leave more space for the passengers, but with me, it's quite tight here. But there's no comparison to my Porsche, which is practically unusable on the rear seats. But yeah, as much as maybe the rear seats are not the biggest I've seen, the trunk is absolutely enormous and you can fit a lot of luggage in here. A big plus for that. The Porsche trunk. It's not enormous, obviously, but it's also not small. If you know how to use it, because it's such a weird space, honestly, because it's very deep but not really wide. And if you like risk, you can also get rid of the spare wheel and it will give you even more space. You need to know how to live with it, but it can be very useful. Okay, now in terms of the engine, it's a 4-cylinder hybrid system. It's a 250 horsepower, so it's a bit less than the Porsche, and obviously it's a much bigger car. Honestly, I think it's too little for such a big car, and the hybrid system isn't the most rapid. It struggles definitely on like the mountain roads like here. I will talk about it more when we go to drive it, but yeah, I feel like definitely there should be a bigger engine in this car. I know that there's probably a lot of options, but this configuration, not so powerful, honestly. Now the Porsche engine, this is a 3.4 liter flat six. I think it's perfect engine for this car. It lets you enjoy driving it without breaking all the speed limits. It really comes to life very early on the RPMs. It's a beautiful engine. It sounds phenomenal in my opinion. I really think that this is a perfect engine for this size of a car. Anything quicker would be too quick to actually enjoy it, and anything slower, it's too slow. It's perfect. It's fast whenever you need it to be fast. The fuel consumption isn't that bad. I love it. I really think that this is a perfect engine for this car. Okay, so driving the white whale. I won't pretend that it's not nice, because obviously it is. It's very comfortable car. The suspension is very soft. You are floating above the road, but it's enormous. It's a big car, and the visibility is terrible. This is my biggest problem with this car. I kind of feel like in a tank. It's a big issue, especially for my girlfriend. She's, you know, a new driver, and she really needs a good visibility, and this car lacks it. I can't see anything in the back rear view mirror. The engine is not enough. I gotta say that. When I try to go for it, it's fine as long as I'm on an even road. But whenever I'm climbing, it's struggling. It's a heavy, very heavy car, and 250 horsepower, it's not that much. And it's a pretty small engine, 4-cylinder. It could be better. What I gotta admit, the hybrid system is pretty okay. It really helps those 4-cylinders with starting and acceleration. So as long as it's not accelerating from like 50 to 70, it's fine because the electric engine is helping it. But whenever you're climbing hills, you can feel the car struggling. And I think that at this price point, it really shouldn't be a thing. When it comes to the steering, it's very light, you know, it's very comfortable, it's very easy to turn the wheel, but you can't really feel the road at all. And you know, obviously, in such luxurious car, it's kind of to be expected because this is a trade-off of such a comfortable ride. Subjectively, I'm not the biggest fan of it. You have different modes like comfortable, sport, and eco, but I ended up just using the sport all the time because this is, for me, this is a good sweet spot. But yeah, obviously, whenever I'm leaving my house very early and it's still a bit cold, it's very nice to have heating seats. Whenever it's very hot, it's nice to have ventilating seats. The audio system is incredible. I really like it. And it's very quiet in here.
Voice control cannot be used to change the volume at present.
I really don't like the voice control. When I'm traveling with my girlfriend, we are mostly speaking Polish. Nevertheless, every now and then it's suddenly start talking to us, thinking that I wanted to activate it. So yeah, it's really not that good. The infotainment system is pretty nice, but it really doesn't matter for me that much because I'm just using CarPlay, and I have CarPlay on my Porsche as well. Yeah, as I was saying, the materials in this interior are really nice. I think it's a great car if you are a taxi driver and you want your clients to feel very nice while traveling with you, and you also want to be comfortable for many hours a day. But for any enjoyment driving, it doesn't do it for me. The only thing I gotta admit, it's a really nice place to be when you are like sitting in a traffic and you're just waiting because it's quiet, it's very comfortable, you have a good audio, and you're just cruising. I don't think this is something that should be important in your car, that this should be your measure system of how good of a car it is. Once again, I'm coming back to the Hunter Thompson. He was also talking about the difference between his Red Shark, which was some kind of Chevy, and the White Whale, the Cadillac. And this is basically the difference, same difference between Porsche and a Mercedes. Mercedes is just this big, afraid of every corner when you're at speed. It's floating. You don't feel like you are in much control of what this car is doing. You and the car are two completely separate organisms. And for many people, I'm sure it's fine, but not for me. I really wish there was more knobs and actually like nice things to control everything in this car. Because using the screen, it instantly gets messed up with your fingerprints and everything. It kind of feels cheap. Screens are nothing luxurious. Everybody has like an iPad, iPhone, whatever. Touch screens are not luxury. I really wish many car manufacturers would understand it and stop putting more and more bigger screens inside our cars. We don't need that much. It's nice to have a CarPlay, that's it. And I really wish the more car manufacturers would put an actual clocks, how do you say it, like speedometer and RPM gauges, because when you have an analog gauge, it's so nice, and those digital ones are just lame, honestly. It's like, why guys? I feel like many brands are starting to realize it, that they have to differentiate, but yeah, it will take some time to go back to what's good. And I think they need to find a balance, because technology is incredible and I love how it improved our car experience, but not everywhere, okay? Don't put it everywhere. You need to find a balance. Speaking of balance, let's go back to a very analog experience. Okay, back in my 911. It's so nice being back in here every time I'm using a different car and then going back to this one. It's so nice to drive. It actually puts a smile on my face every time I'm driving it. It just changes my day for the better. You can't put a value on it, honestly. Obviously, when it's a cold morning and I don't have heating seats, or I want to relax and listen to an audiobook, it's not as comfortable and quiet and luxurious as the Mercedes. But honestly, for me, it doesn't matter that much because a quick drive through mountain roads, I don't need to relax. I'm already in a high adrenaline, a lot of enjoyment state of mind. It's really incredible because something that I'm using to commute every day is actually also something that brings me so much joy and is my little toy. I love it. The steering is perfect. The engine is giving me exactly what I need whenever I need it. It's so nice to have a manual steering, a manual transmission. It's just made for me. Honestly, like the sitting position as a driver is also for me more comfortable than the Mercedes. This might be very, very subjective matter, but I'm a pretty tall guy. I'm 6'2", and it's just I'm sitting so low, but at the same time I have a better visibility than in a Mercedes. I'm super comfortable. The seats are actually very nice. They are not too sporty. I love it. And every corner is a joy. In a Mercedes, I was afraid of every corner. And here I can't wait for the next one. Climbing the hills is not a problem. This car is so light and the engine is powerful enough that it never struggles. And as I was saying, it's powerful enough to give you a lot of joy, but also it's not too powerful, so you can actually enjoy it without breaking every speed limit in existence. It's a really nice experience. I highly recommend everyone that never tried driving an older but more enjoyable car to give it a shot. Just see if that's maybe something for them. My girlfriend, for example, I was so surprised because after renting this Mercedes, she was like, I would actually prefer something a bit older. She didn't like that it had so many screens, that it was so digital, and I feel the same. I think everybody should find their scale, their sweet spot, because not everyone would love such an analog feeling like with this Porsche, but I'm sure that there could be some kind of sweet spot. Maybe not the car from 2000s or even older, but from 2010s instead of 2020s. And everybody is looking, everybody is smiling when they are seeing this car because it's such a joy. I think people can feel how much joy it gives me. You know what they say, that the money doesn't guarantee happiness. And this comparison is the perfect example. I mean, I bought this car with money, so it's not entirely true. For me, it's a matter of choice and finding what's actually good for you, not just spending as much as you can to have the nicest thing possible. Because the nicest isn't objective. Something that might be nice for many people wouldn't have to be so nice for you. I really encourage you to go out of your comfort zone or of your safe space. And trying something that you wouldn't normally try. Something that you think would be too old, too analog, too cumbersome. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's exactly what you need. It's the same talk with watches, cars, even clothes. Don't be another brick in the wall. Just try for yourself. Think what you actually like. And for me, this is this car. This is what I need. This is what I enjoy. This is what brings me joy. I love it. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you like this video. It wasn't supposed to be a real comparison. It's more of me putting out a thought, showing how different a car experience can be. And that not every time money that you spend guarantees that it's gonna be a better experience. I'm not saying that everybody should buy a 911, but try something different. Think different, choose differently. I think you will be really surprised what actually makes your life a little bit better. Yeah, thank you so much. See you in the next one. Peace.